Good evening, everybody. This is Noreen McClendon with another edition of Free to Heal, where we come together weekly. Those that were formerly incarcerated, loved ones, children, any stakeholders that have been involved in the criminal justice system to try to heal from the ravages of what mass incarceration has done to us, to others in our lives, and to the community, and ultimately to the nation as a whole. And so we come together, we have conversations, and this week we had an extremely good conversation about patience, and we took it from Formula for Success, Reentry 030, written by Terrell E. Tillman, who we've had on the show previously, and we used his section on patience. And the conversation started about, I asked the group where did they think they were on a scale of 1 to 10 when it came to patience. And we had everything from zeros to nines or tens. But what I did is I got them to tell us some of the things, those people that had higher scores, to tell us some of the things that they do or that they've done that improve their patience skills. And some of those things included if they know they're going to a place. We really ragged on the Department of Motor Vehicles really bad tonight. It was quite funny. I was referring to it as the DMV, okay? But one person said that they take a book or music when they go because they anticipate that it's going to be a long wait, and that helps them to get through the really awful times. Another person said that they kind of played a game with themselves where they would look at people and create stories in their head about them, or look just at what was going on in regular life, and that entertained them. It was like this was a movie that they were watching, and they just watched the movie and it helped to pass the time. So we all thought that was a really good one. Some people, let me see, what else did I miss? I think those were the two main ones. Some just prepared ahead of time, knowing that they were going to have to wait a long time, and they just, because they're patient anyway, and they understand that everything is a process, because that is what Mr. Tillman wrote in his book, is that there is a process, and you have to be patient with the process, and understand that there are going to be things, and that way you can get through those long, boring waits much easier. One of the people spoke about the fact that they have other appointments, so it created anxiety. And so that led into a big discussion about anxiety. And so I asked the question, what things caused anxiety? One person, it was just driving, period. Another person, it was riding the bus, because in incarceration, there are no buses, there are no cars. They had several people who had been left prison, got hit by cars, and died. And so the notion was that prison was the safe space, the place that was safe, that they wouldn't get hit by a car. They were afraid that somebody might shoot up the bus. These are the kinds of things that happen now. Anxiety is often something that is not based in fact or reality. It's oftentimes not even rational, but it doesn't mean that the body doesn't experience it as if it were real. Another person had anxiety, and I think I may have spoken about this before, where just having cash come out of the ATM. He talked about having money in his pocket. He hadn't had actual cash in his pocket in 33 years, because having cash in prison is considered a contraband and can get you more time or get you sent to the hole. It can get you punished. Another one, which is common, is finding employment. And how do you deal with the answering the question, have you ever been incarcerated or convicted? That it was like having been in prison was hanging over their head. Another one had an issue with people tend to want to tell your story and that kind of thing. And this person was fairly shy and laid back and didn't want to be in the spotlight all the time. So I think for people who are listening, it may be a good idea not to constantly put that person on the spot. Tell them, or tell your story, or tell them. Just give them a chance to kind of ease into that a little bit, because it is anxiety producing. Um, Let me see some other good ones. Shopping in the store because there are too many choices. He talked about toothpaste. There were two choices. There was a generic and there was one brand of toothpaste. Well, with that being the case, when you come home and there are all these varieties, it was just totally overwhelming to have to choose a specific brand. And it was too overwhelming and it produced a lot of anxiety. Another one that I thought was really interesting was the fear of disappointing the people that had held him down while he had been incarcerated. So people have expectations of the people that have been incarcerated. A lot of times they want you to be exactly who you were before you went in, and a lot of times they don't want you to be anything like you were. And neither one of those is going to be true. Neither is going to be true of your loved one that comes home. Everybody changes when they go to prison, for good or bad. If nothing else, the passage of time and age tend to kick in, and they've lost time, so they're going to be different. They're not going to be the same people when they come home. Let me think. Did I miss anything? Oh, one person talked about the fact that the system itself, having to be on parole, having to get documents to document who they are, those things were anxiety producing. And so, but the thing I loved about tonight's discussion was that most of the discussion wasn't from me. The conversation wasn't on me. It was that the group participants got to talk and express how they felt. This group is not for or about me. It is literally for everybody to heal. And I'm so excited every week, especially on the weeks where the group participants get to chime in, because I always learn so much. For example, I never knew that you may hear people who have been incarcerated talk about canteen. And there's a person that is an inmate that works in the commissary with the officers. And apparently, that person gets to charge people who are not on the list that day to shop, to come in. Those people pay them so that they can shop. I also didn't know that it is divided into days who can shop. And so if you miss those days, you may have to wait a whole month before you can shop again. Then I learned tonight that there's someone in every prison called the store man or store woman. Who are they? They are the person that has everything from the store. But if you get from them one soup, you may have to return two. Or they may require you to get two and you have to return 3 or 4. The store man or woman sets the rules for their store, but apparently there's one in every prison. And if you miss canteen, the reason getting to canteen is so important is so that you don't have to pay the extra price at the store man or woman. Who knew? Who knew that that was a system? It's like the hard money lender. When you're trying to buy a home or get a car because you have bad credit, the normal banks and lending institutions won't lend to you. So you have to go to what's called a hard money lender. And there's always an extra tax from the hard money lender. So there's that person in prisons. It's a barter system. And so it can be at extortionary rates, and because you only get one particular week a month to shop, if you miss it, then you may have to wait till the next month. And they indicated that the topic came up because the guy was saying that there may be 300 people waiting, but what he realized was they may, if I don't have the patience to wait, they may call my number or my name and I'm not here, and then I don't get to shop at all that month. So patience is a virtue apparently inside, and we all know it's a virtue whether you have whether you've been incarcerated or not. So this was an incredible discussion this week. I hope you get as much out of it as I did. Please leave comments, topics that you want to discuss, anything you want to say to us in the comment section, and we'll be right back at you again next week with another installation of Free to Heal. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Welcome to Free to Heal. And tonight we're going to talk about something that is really huge. That's patience. Just by show of hands, how many people think they're doing pretty good in the patient department? Okay, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to go around, and I on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, Lionel, I know you're telling a story. On a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to check in, and with 10 being great patience, 1 being not so much. I want everybody to. So I'm gonna start with you, Patrick. Patrick, where you at? Where you think you are with patience?
Basically, I'm a 4 or a 5, because when things get hard, you just walk away. Because remember, I have to practice anger management. So the doctor says, if you're going to get angry or something hurts you, don't be there. So I walk away when patience gets light.
Thank you. So you're between a 4 and a 5. Mr. Bradley, what number you gonna tell me?
I'm gonna go with about a 7.
Okay.
Because my patient is like, I want to seize the opportunity, because if I take too long being so patient, I might miss the opportunity, because sometimes it's not going to be there all the time for you. So it's like, when I can, I'm going to do it. If I can't, then I know when to bag up off of it, because I know I can't will things and make things happen. Sometimes it takes a little patience, because that's when you know things is right. But sometimes you miss out on that opportunity. So my patience is it's like back and
balance
forth.
the two.
Yeah, it's hard to balance, because you can miss out if you take too long.
Yeah, that's
on
for
the
sure.
Opportunity. Like saying something, somebody might be waiting for you to say something, but your patience, you got so much patience, you miss out. You miss out on it, because this person or someone's waiting on you.
Okay, so you'll say a 7. Mr. Jones, where you think you at?
And I'm at an 8.
Okay.
I believe I'm real patient when I'm one of them people that, when the situation calls for something, I convince myself that that's what need to be, and I'm there. You know what I mean? And just like saying, like being in the DMV. I mean, it's only because I just really got out too, but I, sitting in the DMV for all of my hours, man, I felt like I was at the park. So, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you definitely around the 8 then. Not getting frustrated in that the DMV. You
yeah,
the DMV, baby. If you can sit in there and not get frustrated, you really got some patience. I might have to push you up to 8.5, boo, because I'm telling you that waiting in there. Oh my goodness! And wait, with them making appointments and stuff, it's still long old ways. What the heck? The heck I make an appointment for, and I still gotta wait an hour.
I could stand in a long line and just be cool with it.
Okay, well that's good. So I believe that. So Mr. Hall, where you think you at?
Yeah, I think I'm about an 8.
Okay.
But when I was in prison, when I was in prison, I was at a 10.
Okay.
But since I've been out, it's been dropping.
Why you think that is?
I don't know. I just guess because now I'm driving, I'm doing all kind of stuff, and the traffic is sometimes it be crazy. So
sometimes,
it's like, man.
Listen, LA County traffic is enough to make anybody lose their cool. You would think, okay, so we were coming back like we would get off at 8, maybe I'm there till 8:30. On a Saturday night, why is there bumper to bumper traffic
Right.
on the freeway at 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday? Like, I'm just not, I'm like, okay, that's gonna make you lose some patience, isn't it?
Right.
I can understand that, right? And then I think too, being out, I think another thing is you guys had that hyper sensitive disrespect gene thing going on or rule inside where
Right.
they don't have that out here.
Right.
They don't have it.
Absolutely.
So then that, people do all kind of, you know what I'm saying? So I can see what that might cause it too, because people don't treat you the way that they necessarily should.
Exactly. You're right. You is right.
You know what I'm saying? Dealing with some other stuff.
Because
that's some other
even like dealing with people out here, like you said, I mean, I'm getting madder faster and I'm not liking that, but because like you said, the respect thing is really not there.
It's not at the level that it was inside.
Right.
Because see, I always talk about the fact that it's a different standard. It's a totally different standard, and people don't always get that. It doesn't translate out here. The story about the guy standing on the bus stop, and the man just came to stand on the bus stop, and he went off on him. He told him, he said, "Y'all don't even know where to stand. Why you still be standing behind nobody like that?" Okay, the man, poor man, everybody on the bus stop looked at him like, "What's wrong with him?" You know what I'm saying? He's 18 years. You don't stand behind nobody in the penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? So for him, that was like, you should know that already. But people out here don't know that. The man just walked up. He's probably just trying to go to work. It's in the morning. I'm just trying to get to work, man. I got waiting on the bus. So, there's a lot of things that just don't translate. Okay, but you're 8. So, who did I miss? Mr. Terry. Otis, what number you think you are on patience? I can't hear you, babe.
Okay.
Wait, Kit unmuted. Go ahead, Kit.
Okay, this is Kit. I'm a 1, and the police had to come get me out the DMV line because I had acted a fool and I was ready to kill up everybody.
So you said you're a number what?
I'm a 1.
You're a number 1. Oh boy, okay.
I ain't got no patience at all.
Well, I'll get back at you now, Noreen.
Okay, what'd you say, Otis? What number you think you are?
I'm a number 10. I have
10.
patience like crazy. I can walk away from any situation.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so you a 10. Patrick say he said he about a 4 or 5.
James knows I'm a 10.
James knows you a 10?
Yeah.
James, where are you at on the patience scale?
I'm about 8.5.
Oh, he 8.5. Oh, don't miss his half, y'all.
Please don't miss my half.
Because it matters. It matters. Okay.
Lose patience. Yep. Well, see, the thing is this. I pray what I want. So it gives me patience. And then the other thing I had to remember was I went through all the groups to make me young. They haven't. So that's
good
the
point.
Thing. But what irritates me is when you're standing in line at the grocery store and there's 9 or 10 of y'all and there's 2 other cashiers that's scared to open up. And you're in this long line waiting on them to open up. And then when you get to the thing to put the stuff up,
now they open up. Ooh.
I said, "Why, thank you." And I turned around and I looked at the cashier because they be looking at me. I said, "Thank you for opening for all other people."
Okay. Miss Roberta, where do you think you are? A 4? Okay. What say you don't have 9? Okay. And Pike, where you think you at? 0. I'm so glad you honest, Mr. Pike.
You know me.
I know. Yeah, I know. Because you know what? You couldn't have probably got much higher than a 2 or 3, no how.
Yeah,
so this the thing. So, and I would say I'm probably like a 9. Because I can do it, but then there are certain things, certain times that ain't go. Like I have a I don't know what it is. There's certain things that just annoy me that I just can't tolerate. And when those few things come up, I lose my patience with it. One is lying. If you lie to me, like I can handle almost any truth. I could work with you if it's the truth. But when you start lying to me, then I lose it. I don't want to work with you. I don't, because I know you lying. And then keep lying. See that's just like, okay. Then I have to do what Otis does, and then I just have to walk away. Cause I done lost it with you for that. But this is what Terrell Tillman says. He says everything in life is a process and has a process. So practice and display patience. Okay. So everything is a process. But what you got to do is you're going to have to display patience. He says re-entering back into society after being incarcerated for any amount of time is a trying experience. I'm sure you can all agree to that. It's trying at times, right? The DMV line is one place that y'all got to go. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay. There are many men and women in America and worldwide who must go through the re-entry process due to their choice of lifestyle or criminal actions that earn them a number from the state or federal corrections department. Whether the crime was a white-collar charge, drug case, act of violence, murder, child molestation, guns, petty theft, or a combination of charges, the debt to society must be paid. All of you all have already done that. The fact that you're out means that you've already, according to the system, paid your debt. Even if you're on supervision, the debt at some level has been paid. Imprisonment is the first part of the debt, and post-release supervision along with re-entry is the last part of the debt. Despite whether the role of the perpetrator was minimal or not, one knew they were involved in doing something illegal that could result in jail time. To my knowledge now, I don't know if that's always the case. Some people may not know that what they're doing is a crime. Okay. To my knowledge, like the person that just somebody asked them to come ride with me to go here. They didn't even know what was, you know what I'm saying? Like I know young guys that has happened to. And because they got in ride and took that ride, it turned into some stuff they didn't know. And I know like 2 or 3 of them like that wound up in prison for that. because of what happens after that. Oh Lord, I know he ain't asking me for the link. Okay, Terrell is asking me for the link, and we going through his stuff. 1 minute. I'm glad I looked down at the thing so I could send it to him. And it's crazy because I just sent it to him on the 20th. Yeah, and it is. It's the same one. Okay. I just sent it to him. But to my knowledge, there is not one person incarcerated who is actually 100% innocent. Because even if they're not guilty of what they were convicted for, 9 times out of 10, they have done something wrong or broken the law in some form or fashion. Well, I don't think there's any adult who hasn't broken some law at some level. Even if it's running the traffic light, stop sign, whatever, we've all done something. Now, the question as to whether those things would lead us to incarceration is another story altogether. But I have often said, I had a young lady in my group and she in CIW, and she said, well, if my crime, he came to borrow the gun from me and this and that, and all he had to do, he could have dropped me off before whatever, and I wouldn't be in. So the only reason I'm in prison is because he didn't drop me off. And I said, well, no. The reality is that why were you the person they was coming to borrow the gun from in the first place?
You gave them a gun that they came to borrow, so that makes you the biggest element of the crime.
Right.
So whether they dropped you off or not, they was coming to get you.
Either way, because you loaned them the gun. You loaned them the gun. You was going. So, and that's what his point is in this paragraph, is that usually, and 9 times out of 10, the people, there is no totally innocence. You see what I'm saying? There's a lifestyle going on or something where people are engaged, and that causes them to be in what I consider harm's way, to become an accessory to something, to be put off. And I just want to know, I want to ask all of y'all, what y'all looking at? What y'all do? What's everybody looking at?
You.
Huh? Somebody tell me. No, what y'all looking at?
You.
Talk to me, because everybody looking at something. And if y'all looking at something interesting, I want to look. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. Huh?
You talking about this? Or the people on Zoom?
Y'all on Zoom.
Okay, I was in a deep thought to listen to what you were saying. And it came to, I said I was at a 7 patient, right? Before I became incarcerated, I was zero. I had no patients. I was 0 patients.
You said before you were incarcerated?
I didn't have no patients. I was like, I was gonna make it happen. It wasn't going my way. I wasn't dealing with it. I'm supposed to do something else. But by going to jail, it made me have that patience, because like going to the canteen, you got 300-400 people in line. And I said to myself, if I get out this line, they might call me. Then I've been sitting here for all this time for hours for no reason. And then when I go to the medical, see the doctor or something, they had another 300 or 400 people waiting to see the doctor, nurses, and all that. And I said, if I leave here, I might not get the medical treatment. As soon as I leave, they might call me. And it's like, by me going to see the board, for the board and stuff, I had to sit in the room for my freedom. I had to learn patience. And today I went to DMV. I was there from 11 o'clock to about 3 o'clock. And I use that as, I'm at these people around me, these different people, and they're all different, like a strange world I'm looking at. And it's like I use them for entertainment, to entertain my thoughts of what these people doing, what this people up to. It's like watching TV, live TV and stuff. And it's like, it's like a whole nother world that I could be in prison right now. I could be this or that. But here it's like, I'm looking at these people's lives, trying to figure out these people's lives inside my head, or what's going on in these people's mind. And some people get to cussing at the people at DMV. I start laughing.
Yes, they do.
I say, okay, they have no patience. And I had to learn this patience, because I laugh, because I said, I used to be like that. Wow, they don't understand what these people in DMV might be going through and stuff like that, because they working there dealing with all kinds of different personalities. Yeah, they dealing with all kinds of personalities.
You don't know what they're dealing with.
Yeah. So I'm on the freeway and all this traffic, I said, these people is trying to get someplace. They trying to get home to their family and stuff like that. People get to blowing their horn. I'm like, I'm not gonna blow my horn because this person might have had a tragedy in his life. The next day I blow my horn, he jump out the car, she jump out the car with a pistol. I said, no, let them do what they do and just enjoy the scenery, because I come from a place that I could enjoy this right here, this vision, this view of the world. Now I get to see what's going on out here, and it's like, wow, this is crazy out here. I used to be one of these people, acting the same way. Now
Isn't it crazy when you could look back on your old self?
Yeah.
You could look back on your old self and go, ooh, that wasn't nice.
Yeah, I was screwed up in the head. People say, you got issues. I say, yes, I do got issues, and I'm working on them issues, because it's like AA, NA, all that stuff. I had addiction to violence. I thought to handle my problems through violence and stuff like that. Now I'm like, wow, I try to be at peace with myself. And then when people lie to me, I tell a person, when they lie to me and I catch them lying, I say, put some effort in your life. You disrespect me, well, you ain't put no effort in your life. When you take some
that ain't
effort
even a good one. That was a weak lie.
Yeah, there you go. I go to some people and tell me a lie. Yeah, I said, tell me a lie to entertain my thought, my mind. Tell me a lie. They get mad at me about that. I said, man, you can't even lie good. And they get mad and I laugh. Why are you getting mad at me? Because I tell you lying to me and I'm catching your lie. Now you get mad at me. You know,
I
you
wanted,
shouldn't get mad. Practice on your own.
but I was trying to figure out what happened to me though, Mr. Bradley. Is everybody was looking at something? Looked like y'all was looking at something on TV or something. Everybody looking up, and I'm going, "What they watching? I want to know what they watching. If they watching something good, I want to go home. I want to click off and go home and watch it."
We probably was deep in thought of what you were saying, really
Okay, at
listening
least that
to
one. You
your
don't know about
words.
the rest of them, though. But wait, Mr. Terrell,
The
Mr. Terrell,
basketball game
guess
is
what we
on.
teaching out of today?
Okay. Well, somebody, I didn't know the basketball game was on. Let me go up in here too. No.
Patience.
That's what we talking about today. Out of Formula for Success.
I heard him speaking about patience. You know.
That's what we talking about. And we just finished with the first page, and now we're going on to the second page.
Okay.
So, some people may have gotten away once, twice, or a few times for a lengthy time, but somehow the long arm of the law caught up with them. Okay. After serving a short or lengthy sentence, a reentry person has to face reality and everything else that's waiting on them in the free world. There's lots of things that's going to face all of us, right? And since I have the author with us, I'm going to read and I'm going to let you do the commentary, and I'm going to kick back. I'm going to kick back. Bam! I'm going to be the reader. Here we go. In the reentry process and transition, there are many tasks, barriers, and challenges that will be met head on by that ex-inmate. Various skill sets and human components will be tested on every level: intellectual, emotional, mental, verbal, physical, and spiritual. Pressure and stress are naturally apparent and plentiful amongst any person who is released from incarceration. So patience is a must-have attribute. Bam, back to the author. Now I could just sit down and listen. Talk to the people. Drink my liquor and talk to me, Terrell.
Well, you know what? You ready for me on the spot, but it's good. So, like it says, everybody here, I'm pretty sure that y'all done came into a situation to where it tested your patience on one of those levels, if not multiple levels, right?
Yep. Look,
like I was hearing the brother say.
Listen, Mr. Bradley was in the DM of V today, baby.
Yeah.
And in the DM of V.
Yeah, like he was saying, like Mr. Bradley was saying, he was in the DMV, and there was so many people in there. And then he said, well, fuck it. I'm going to just channel my shit into this live TV right here. All this stuff that's going on, this is like a movie. So he took his patience and he turned it into a positive and let the people around him and his environment entertain him while his time was going by. So he didn't get irritated by the time he had to wait to get called the numbers here, numbers there, go through this line, go through that line. You know what I'm saying? Because like he said, if you're in that commissary waiting and you go outside or you turn your head and you leave out that line, you're going to miss your commissary. You can't get it to the next time you go to the store. And it might not be the next time if you go on lockdown. So you're going to sit your ass in that store line and wait till you get your canteen. So
I didn't know that. See, yeah. I don't know why I had this notion that you had a set day to shop.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, it's a set day to shop.
But you and everybody else got a set day.
The thing about it is this: it's a set day to shop, but that don't mean ain't nothing gonna crack off between this time and the next time. So when you go to the store, you gotta pack up on you gotta stock up on your shit that you need. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you miss it and something jump off, and it ain't no store the next time you supposed to go to the store, then you fucked up.
So wait, so what was you saying, Ms. Roberta, about it? What was you saying? You had just said something. You said it to Jane.
Yeah.
No, because listen, Ms. Roberta. Might get lucky on a Saturday. Might get lucky on a Saturday and what, babe? Go shop. Oh, on a day that's an off day? Yeah. Okay, and the reason I'm asking the question is because, again, remember, other people might see this that don't know. People like me who don't know what you guys just said. So it may help other people, like loved ones like us, that when they're in there, or people who come home who like they don't understand what's going on, why their people are acting like they're acting. All of these things, if we have this insight, it may actually help us to deal with them better. And you had said something too, James.
Well, the thing with this, you shot by the last two numbers of your CDC number.
Okay.
And that, the 1 through 00 to 33, go the first week. Second week, you got 34 through 66. And then the next week, you have 67 through 99. The last week of the month is called, well, the first week of the month is called restock. The second, third, and fourth week of the month are shopping. Now, if you go on lockdown for that week, you're in trouble because not every prison has a Saturday draw, and most Saturday draws are for guys that up on the hill working, they can't get down before the yard is over with. Or they may have you working and the yard is down, but they got to give you some kind of benefit because you are like, I work for the for PIA, where we put together medical transportation vehicles. So we are there so long, sometimes we doing double shifts and we don't get to the store out the store time. So they have to make a special day for us just to go get our put in our list and then bring our groceries where we can get them. But then the thing is, not if we go on lockdown, there's not a thing as we just gonna make this up. Sometimes you will miss it, just barely miss it. So now you surviving off of what you got under your bed on your lock.
Got you.
You see what I'm saying?
And like I say, see, like the deal is that a lot of people don't know that that's the process. So we wouldn't know, how to have patience with you guys, about these kinds of things. Terrell, you on the computer is raised. Did you really raise the hand, or was that an accident? You just touched something.
No, I raised my hand.
Okay, go ahead, sweetie.
I wanted to wait till he was finished talking.
Go ahead.
So, and to reiterate what James was saying was like, sometimes they go by the numbers, sometimes they go by the units. In the feds, it's different. You don't shop on the weekend in the feds. So it's different institutions and different set shopping days. But all in all, if you miss your shopping day or your shopping day come around and shit is going out the store and it ain't stopped, you hit. And Lord knows you don't want to be going to the store, man, buying no shit for double and triple up. You know what I mean? Or 1.5 type of shit. So you want to make sure
I want to stop you right there. You used the term, the store man.
I'm explaining that. I'm explaining that. So if you don't have your stock going or you miss the store, there's a store man in every jail that he has whatever you need.
Got what you need, baby.
9 times out of 10 is 2 for 1. And depending on the product, it could be 2 for 3 because he might not let you just come get 1 for 2. You know what I'm saying? So it's all according to the store man and his rules. And his rules is the rules because that's his shit. And you're going to abide by it. So when you go to that store, if you get 1 honey bun, you might have to bring him back 2 honey buns, or you might just can't get 1 honey bun. You got to get 2 and then bring him back 3 or 4. So when you in there, every institution and every joint is pretty much going to be ran with the same guidelines, but the procedures going to be different. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like PCI. You got the guidelines and the, you know what I'm saying?
Your audio went out, babe.
Versa. Some of the procedures might change, some of the guidelines might be the same. Yeah, I'm on the freeway, so could you guys hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
That canteen cop.
Yeah, so basically,
Oh yeah.
1 second. What was you saying, Pipe?
Well, every canteen officer has an inmate that works for him. And he lets them run about 10, 15 cards through the store.
Those are guys who pay for the store.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh wow.
I know a few of them almost got killed over that.
Wow. So So the canteen, basically, the store man or somebody like that will pay the canteen officer to let them run. No, it's two different people.
We pay canteen guy on the inside, right, to get you in, because you don't know if the yard gonna go down. So you try to get in the store. He can run 10 or 15 guys per shopping week.
Oh.
And
Per day.
and or per day. And it would get them into the store.
When they weren't on the list, or it wasn't their time, or it's getting ready to go on lockdown, or they go first, or whatever, and then the canteen officer from the institution makes money.
He know that the canteen guy is doing what he's doing.
Oh.
He allows him to do it.
Okay, so he makes okay, now I'm caught up. See, this is what but you see why I was asking the question, Roberta, like, because
CIW, you know, the canteen man himself comes up, gets stuff from girls.
Oh, really?
The canteen man, not even the officer, the canteen man.
Yeah, the canteen, the
Like,
canteen. Okay, but then you owe him sexual favors.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. See, so again, this was why I was this was why I was asking, right? Because like this is a whole new education for me, who has this much connection and spent this much time with a lot of people that have been incarcerated, and I didn't know this. So just imagine a family member trying to deal with somebody that's incarcerated now, that don't know that this is the way this system works, and trying to support them. And then when they come home, this kind of thing can create trauma. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about people getting hurt for stuff like this. I mean, this really can create trauma, and the knowledge and the understanding of where it comes from a lot of times can be the difference in keeping a family together and helping somebody be successful in reentry versus not being successful because they don't have the right support. Yeah. Right, like you said, you were the one who taught me about the lockup box, knowing that right before the holidays, you better get your stuff stocked up because you know you're going on lockdown because the officers need overtime. And if don't nothing kick off, they're going to kick it off. So you got to have that.
Kick it off, or they have a thing to where they kick it off, start racing.
Yes.
Or all of a sudden it's a bullet came up this door. And the prison I was in had a whole lot of them come up. The bullet is found within 5 minutes, but guess what? We still in lockdown.
The nurse lost her ID.
Oh gosh, that's a classic. The nurse lost her ID. That's a classic.
Yeah.
That wait, that's along the lines of, oh y'all, okay, everybody grown, right? Ain't nobody got no babies around, right? That's along the lines of just a tip.
You a mess. You is a mess for that one, Noreen.
The nurse lost her ID. That sounds like that's right up there with that one. What? That's one of the biggest lies ever told. Just a tip. Yeah, whatever. The biggest lie ever told when a nigga tell you, I just want to put the tip in. That's a lie, biggest lie you ever heard. What I'm saying, because that's the consistency of that lie. It's the lie they use all the time. It's just consistent. That's why I had to say, we all grown.
They always had this one particular thing.
Yeah, that it come up all the time.
The girls, we only.
That's what she said. She said in nurse's story that she lost her ID. But in the feds.
In the feds, the girls, the only time we've been on lockdown is when they did the people. If something happens in the world, they lock the political prisoners up in the stew, and then they won't let them get newspapers and stuff. But we go on lockdown like the lady that walked away from the camp. So they put all of us on lockdown while they look.
Okay.
We ain't never been except that when they play the game. Because they got those games they play where they say, okay, they'll lock some girls in the shoe and then you guys got to go find, the staff has to find them. They'll lock them, they'll take them somewhere and they want the staff to find them. Or either they do the games where, like when I was in camp, the men would be out looking, but they'll have the guns, they'd be laying down with the guns. Yeah. We go outside not knowing they playing the games and it scares us so horribly. And we went and told the food service lady, Miss Bentley, she said, oh, they're just playing their games. So that's how we found out that that's it's just games they do.
Wow. And see, and I wonder, and I don't, and this is a good way to get back to recognize what we're talking about. We're talking about patience and in these processes and trying to get through these processes. So that's how Canteen came up, and all of this is all process. And even those games and having to have patience with these people and patience when they put you on lockdown, and y'all know it's for no reason. Y'all know this is nonsense, but like Pike said, you start building in systems and things you do to try to mitigate the damage and the harm done to you because you know that this is the games that they play. Like Mr. Bradley talking about today, looking at DMV and making it entertainment, watching the people and creating stories in his head and figuring, making a move so he can be entertained. But that helps you to keep your patience. It's a tool to use to keep your patience so that you don't lose it in situations where you know where you normally would have. And let me say this, would not be wrong for being impatient. Because let's face it, at the DMV, the people, why you gotta wait all them hours for, come on already.
If you're in a place like that, all you got to do is take a good book or your phone and listen to some good music.
Right.
And just take your time and enjoy the day.
That's another tool to use, which I'm so glad you guys are giving tools, because again, I'm always thinking about the listener who may not have anybody to talk to, who may not know. And these kinds of tools are things that people can implement. Like you say, a good book, good music, just zone out right there, put your stuff on and go for it. And when they call your name, they'll call your name. Go ahead, what's yours?
I got Netflix on my phone. And I have Amazon Prime, which comes with my monthly issue, my monthly bill. And it's attached to my phone. So when I get in places and I know it takes me longer than what normally would take, what I do is I catch me a good movie. And I'm just sitting there in my earbuds. I watch a movie. What you watching, man? I'm watching this bomb movie. And I'm just itching my way up the line.
So wait, speaking of Amazon Prime, I'm glad he mentioned it. It brought it back to me. If you have Amazon Prime, there's a documentary called The First Step that just went up on Tuesday, April the 4th. I'm in that documentary. It is about getting the law passed where that Donald Trump signed on some sentencing reform and all that kind of stuff. So if you get an opportunity, watch it. It is interesting how laws come into effect and all that kind of stuff, but it's a good documentary. Terrell has seen it.
Wait a minute, wait. I'm gonna cut to the bullshit. Fuck all of that. You ain't just in it. You was a co-executive director of this movie. She made this motherfucking movie happen, y'all. You know
wait, not that one, Terrell, the other one. Listen, when Brandon said I made it happen, things I was doing that, I did not get credit on the film as a producer and executive producer like I am on the one that I did the other day. But I did do producing work on this film, on this documentary. I did.
But man, no, for real though. But she was a instrumental player to get this thing done and to bring the pieces from South Central in, because Van Jones couldn't have did that. The producers couldn't have did it. None of that stuff. So she was an intricate part of this movie, and I went and seen it at the filming with her as well, and she kicks ass. You know, Noreen ain't up here just being a facilitator just because she really give a damn and she really got insight on this work, and this is what she do. You know what I mean? It ain't about money. It's about really, the people and having the patience to deal with the idiots that do have this industry kind of on lock that we're tapping into to help people to get what they need coming out of prison, because we know what the fuck we need, but they don't. But they swear they do. And the fact that they giving away some money, they think they're gonna dictate everything, and but they don't know what the hell they doing. So we have to come in and we have to actually let them people know, look, what you saying might be true. I have some truth to it, but that ain't gonna how it's work. We're gonna have to tweak this like this. And that's what she did. It was a 5-year process, and I seen that movie and it hit home for me because it was talking about some stuff when I was in the feds when the movie was being made. I didn't benefit from the first step, but I know some people that did. But the way it happened, it was too the Democrats and the Republicans had to come together to make this go. And through Van Jones' work and Noreen and all the people that was doing the traveling and speaking on the situation, made that law come into existence.
And
so watch that
actually, the LA
movie, the
Times,
first step movie.
The LA Times did an article on it in the calendar section yesterday. It was like almost the whole page. Yeah, my cousin went and got the newspaper yesterday for me, but it was a whole page, almost a whole page story, and they literally used a picture of me and Van in the article. But it's available on Amazon Prime. So if you guys want to watch it, it's called The First Step. They released it for streaming on Tuesday. So I forgot all about it just to tell you guys that. But when he mentioned it, it just said, oh yeah, I could tell him that too if you get bored. So if you get bored and you got to go to the DMV again, and you got Amazon Prime on your phone, you can and watch that and not be bored. Okay? Yes. I gotta go on my back. All right, sweetie, we love you. We're so glad that you came here. Can you check out for us? Any last words for us, Pike?
Yeah, send me checks.
Did y'all hear him? He said send him checks. Pike leaving because his back is hurt and his arm is hurt and stuff. And he said his checkout for the night was send him checks. I'm sure y'all got a check y'all could send them. We got some checks.
Got a chin check for you.
You know what I'm saying? We got some checks for that ass. Okay. Okay. Now, so I'm gonna do this one. No one is exempt, and I do mean no one is exempt from anxiety upon leaving incarceration, no matter how confident they are. It's just a natural human feeling that overcomes everyone who sets foot into society for the first time after being locked up. Mr. Arthur? Mr. Terrell?
Oh, well, this is something I can testament to, and certain spaces I still get a little anxiety. Actually, I go to courts on every Friday, and it's like when I walk into that courtroom, even though I'm on the court side, it still strikes me in anxiety. Then when the undercovers and the people come in there to court, I be saying to myself, damn, I know I ain't did nothing, but they don't be there for me. But just that anxiety and having that PTSD of being in that courtroom, it's a trigger to me that I have to continue to grow with and overcome, especially being that I'm in the reentry field and I'm there advocating for people who are going to court and trying to get them off probation or get them a good report. So, and this is something I'm pretty sure everybody here can attest to. When you step out them prison doors, you had a level of anxiety that shot through your body. And probably now when you step into society in different places, you probably have the same feeling. It might be lessened now, but it's still there. I'm pretty sure.
So what I would like to know from, and because it's already after 7 for some folks, I know some folks got to check off at about 7. I want, if you have to leave, because I want to talk a little bit more about it, but if you have to leave, that's fine. When I want you to talk to me about those things that gave you anxiety. Just give me a brief something on something that you know that gave you anxiety when you came home. Patrick, let's start with you. Or Mr. Otis, you want to start?
Yeah, that'd be fine. When I got home, I had a lot of anxiety about how to get my driver's license, Social Security card, and I get frustrated because I couldn't get it or get them right away. So I just sat back. I had me some music, kick back and talk to the people, and relax and enjoy the day, and said, look, I'll come back when you get time enough to help me get my driver's license or Social Security card or birth certificate. And I just said, you know what? It's easier to just relax and enjoy the day rather than to fight the system. So that's how I did things.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that.
We'll see you next week.
All right, dear. Mr. Patrick.
Yeah, the anxiety was just the system itself, knowing that nothing is easy, everything is hard, and patience. You go to DMV, you go to DPS, you go to the first 90 days, you have to go to parole, one visit at the house and one visit down there. Then periodically you got to talk to the psychologist. It's just a system overall. And you knew going to the board and they tell you, well, we want you to check in the first 3 months. We want you to do this. And you can't say, well, I'm going to have difficult. You just say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, regardless of whether it's difficult, regardless. You just have to go, like Terrell says, you go through the process and do the best you can. That's part of your patience.
Got you. Rufus, what gave you anxiety, if anything? Well, we know it was something.
Yeah, absolutely. The anxiety the thing that gave me anxiety was the job thing and trying to and filling out applications and doing job interviews, knowing that I have to I have to tell these people that I've been in prison for 34 years or something. I ain't tell them that, but just that's hanging over my head, that I've been to prison, and is these people gonna give me a chance at a job, even though I know I got a strong work ethic, you know what I mean, and just the anxiety of not getting opportunities, and knowing that I'm a dedicated person, I'm a committed person, I'm a person with a strong work ethic, but is anybody gonna give me an opportunity to show that?
Yeah.
So that's the anxiety that I get when I have to step in that arena.
Got you.
Yeah.
And Mr. Hall, how about you?
For me, it's probably more about being in the spotlight. Because when you first getting out, you're gonna be like going around your family, friends, and everywhere you go, you kind of like gonna be in the spotlight. Especially if you done did over 2 to 3 decades in prison. You've been gone a long time, so a lot of people gonna want to talk to you. People gonna talk about you just getting out. Yeah. That was kind of like the anxiety for me. Just happened, I go to church, so when it's so many times that they didn't ask me to stand up and speak in church. How much time I did, it's like, and I'm like a low key type of person. I really don't belong in the spotlight, so that was anxiety. I want to speak about that patient thing a little bit too.
Sure.
I think the reason why the patient things is like it started. Remember I said I was a 10 and then I dropped down to an 8, is because like out here you have appointments. So when you in the DMV, you got other appointments. So you only got a certain limit of time in this DMV because I gotta be over here. So that's where that impatience is starting to kick in.
Yeah, because you got other things going on. You got, I think even in relationships generally, that is a challenge, or it's a change in relationships, because when you are incarcerated, you have a lot more time to focus on the person you're in relationship with. When you get out, you got a list of 15 other things all competing for the time and space that you had to concentrate on that relationship. And that is one of the reasons that the relationships don't work when people come home from incarceration, is because now there's so many other things competing against the relationship. And people think whoever was incarcerated, they don't need that person no more. And no, it's not. And that may be some of it, but it's certainly not all of it. It's just that there's a million things going on. You got, like you said, got other appointments. I don't have 5 hours to sit here. I scheduled this. I made an appointment on the phone or online for 10 o'clock. I scheduled something else for 1 o'clock, and it's 12:30. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep sight. You know what I mean? So it's like I say, in that instance, you have a right to feel frustrated or anxious. You know what I'm saying? But you can't express it, because the other thing, in places like that, you express one little iota of displeasure or whatever, now they're gonna slow down on that ass. We got something for you. We're gonna make you wait even longer. You know what I mean? Yeah, up in here, you gonna learn today because we in charge. You know what I'm saying? Then they get the power to. Oh, the dynamic is awful. The dynamic is awful. I wanted to hear Mr. Bradley. What about any anxiety for you?
My anxiety is not disappointing the people who I left in the penitentiary and stuff, incarcerated, because when I was with them, they was like they didn't have nobody to look out for them and stuff, and we was there for each other. So there's a lot of things I wanted to get done out here, so I could also create business to help the ones that's incarcerated still too. And it's like then I get out here and all the people out here like, man, we was waiting for you to come on. We need someone like you to come on. Then they always want me to call them, and they call me 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm cussing people out because I'm like, what the hell? I'm not, just and it's the anxiety because I do want to help them, and I don't want to disappoint them, like turn my back on them, like I had the people turn their back on me and stuff. So I know how to feel. So my anxiety is basically to help others and stuff like that, and I got to learn how to be more
and that's
patient.
There's something I've talked about that several times is, people will have everybody's going to have expectations when you come home, particularly if you've been gone for a while. And you are not responsible for their expectations. And to how do I want to say it, to mitigate or to make that easier, you know what I'm saying? Like to balance that out. You can care about what they're doing, but you also got to first focus on what's best for you, because you got to struggle through all this other process that they don't know nothing about. People have their own ideas about what you should be. They want you to be either exactly the person that went into prison or nothing like that person. And neither one of them is going to be the case. That you are still who you are, but you changed and grown and evolved into different things while you're incarcerated. And people have all sorts of expectations, and we need to manage. That's what I wanted to say. Manage their expectations by setting boundaries and not feeling responsible for what they want for us to do, so whatever they want of you or whatever they need for you to do. So I can understand that you want to, you want to be there. You don't want to disappoint them, but at the same time, you're not responsible for what everybody's going through. And people will try to make you feel that way. They will try to make you feel like you're responsible for what all they going through and all. Well, while you was gone, we was expecting it when you came home, this, fill in the blank. Well, that's not what you want right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that it's not something I want to do, but it's not what you want at this point, right?
And let me say one thing. Let me interject right here, please.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell everybody on this call. Person say they was waiting on you to come out here and do what you need to do. You need to look at them and say, "You're motherfucking bad."
Yeah.
You was waiting on me to come out of jail after doing 20, 30 years. You was waiting on me. Your motherfucking antennas at.
Yeah.
It's time. So if you was waiting on me, you need to keep waiting, because I got to get my life together. That you can't take ownership of somebody else's expectations, like she said.
Yeah.
And I understand, when I got out the feds, they 11 years, I took pictures and sent them to homies and all that, because that's something that I promised and I was a man of my word. But after that, I can't be sending no money. I got to get money for myself. I got to get my own shit established first before I can do that. But if somebody on the street was saying they was waiting for you to come home to do something for them,
they shouldn't have been waiting.
That's they bad. You need to tell them that's your bad. Man, what the fuck? That's not even rational thinking.
Right. You put something on hold for 20 years waiting on me. You could have had it done by then.
So don't take that ownership from nobody.
Yeah, I heard that. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Don't take that ownership from nobody. Oh, we was waiting on you, and we need to do okay, it's cool. You might need some more people like me. You might even utilize my resources. It might get down, but you wasn't waiting on me. So you could say that bullshit dream to somebody else. You wasn't waiting on me.
Sell it to the man down the block. Sell it to them.
And don't take that ownership, because that's pressure on you that you don't need. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, James. Period.
What was your anxieties?
Well, first of all, I want you to help the brother with something. And this is just a little something drop in your water bucket. The people that's waiting on you to come home, tell them thank you, but keep waiting. Because right now I got to find out who I am when I come home. You don't have time to lose your identity in taking care of everybody else's. You have to take care of who you are. And like I say every time, teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
Not it's about you treating them. Because everybody say, oh, you promised me you. No, I didn't. Because I couldn't promise you I was coming home. So I know you lying.
Right.
See, you said
keep right
he
on.
said main
And keep on digging, huh? I know that's right.
But he said the
Wait one second. Wait 1 second, Mr.
teach.
Bradley. Wait 1 second. Go ahead. And your anxiety was what?
My anxiety was, and my first anxiety was I broke down in Walmart store trying to choose a toothpaste.
Shopping. Too many choices.
Because y'all know we had Colgate and you had whatever generic.
That was it.
That was it. When I walked in, I seen all the different varieties of toothpaste. Then I went over to the deodorant and I went and seen all these different deodorants. And I started crying again and a lady came up and gave me a hug because my girl explained to her, I just got out of prison after 26 and a half years. And the woman came up and gave me a hug because it was overwhelming as well as anxiety to be in a place where there's no respect, a whole lot of people running around. As you know, in the pen, when people start running, things start happening.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
And then you look at
it is
a variety.
Because it is.
So much to choose from that it overwhelmed me. And my anxiety still today is probably grocery stores.
Wow.
I still have an issue when I go in stores with certain people, I tell them blue. They be like, what's blue? Blue is my code word. That means get me the hell up out the store.
Okay, yeah.
I give them a code word.
Right.
Because I'm still learning how to manage that.
Right, got you. Mr. Withers, can you unmute? How you doing? You got it? There you go.
Hello, Noreen. How you doing?
All right. So what kind of anxiety did you face?
My anxiety, probably the first anxiety I felt probably was driving. Driving. That was the first anxiety. After not driving a car for 20 years, that was like the first thing. Because at first I was just like, the first few days I was out, because I never had a driver's license before. I was just reckless driving, young and everything. So when I came home and I knew like I got to do everything right this time. And the first time I drove, my wife was like, here, drive. And we was driving around the neighborhood and just in the little cul-de-sacs and everything, like I still was nervous, but then to actually, once I got my license and to jump on the freeway and everything, like that was a lot of anxiety for me, trying to watch the cars and looking in the rear view. And my wife is like one of them professional passenger drivers and shit. You know what I'm saying? She like to drive from the passenger seat. So every little thing I do.
Wait, get to it. What are your signal? Go over there.
Man, look. I've been out a whole year driving and she still claims I can't drive. But my thing is DMV gave me a driver's license so I can drive.
But wait, and she also not getting the driver's side. She's still hopping in the passenger side, right?
She's still hopping in the and that's what I
You can't drive, but she's still getting that passenger side.
She's still getting the passenger seat. And then she always handed me the keys like, here, I don't want to drive because I know you're going to be critiquing me and that shit make me nervous. And then she don't ride with the seatbelt on.
Oh no, she tripped.
She refused to put her damn seatbelt on.
If you're gonna be fussing at me the whole time, that's only gonna make it worse. So can you please, why don't you just drive then? But then no, I don't want to drive. See, I listen.
I don't want to drive.
I don't want to drive. You drive, but then you got to do it the way I say do it. Okay.
Exactly.
Wait, let me say this. I'm sorry. Can I apologize for her? Let me just apologize to you on her behalf. Okay? I'm sorry. What's your wife? Husband, I'm sorry. Okay? Okay. Okay, wait. So now, Ms. Roberta, can you talk about any anxieties you had, baby?
Anxiety.
When you came home, like
Yeah,
the.
That sure was sure. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
So the interviews, and
Job
some of the
interviews.
people asking me to speak around a big crowd. I can't. I crack. Something happens to me. Something happens to my throat. Something, yeah.
Oh, so when people wanted to interview you about your experience, like Mr.
Interviews, period. One time I had a whole meltdown at an interview to work at a hotel. I looked really, really nice. I don't know what happened. I just started crying. Like I was like, I don't know what's happening to me. I didn't. No, I messed up the whole job.
Wow. And then for you?
Mine was riding the bus. I thought I was gonna get killed. I thought they was gonna come on the bus. I thought I was gonna get shot in a drive-by sitting on the bus stop. And I was scared to walk down the street and pass people, and I turn around and keep looking at them, see if they coming to get me, because I was afraid of this world.
Wow, just afraid in general of society.
Because I didn't know this world.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I knew that safe space I was living in. The one where you can't get hit by no car.
Okay.
We had 2 girls that left that got hit by cars and died, because you can't get hit by a car in there.
Sure.
So you just walk and you just free and stuff. And it was nothing that happened to us. And so we were safe there.
Yeah.
My mom one time said, I'm so scared. I said, I'm probably in the safest place I could ever be.
Now,
that's in the feds.
Okay, yeah. Now, isn't that interesting? Because nobody would ever believe that you felt that way, but that's how you felt. You see what I'm saying? And I want to say this, and then we're going to have to wrap it up, but anxiety is something that happens. It doesn't necessarily come from a rational place, but it doesn't make it any less real. It doesn't mean that your heart isn't going to race. Your breathing is going to pick up. You want to feel what you feel. It's like with James was saying, well, all the different choices. Who would think that was a problem except but you lived that though. And I'm telling you that you're not the only one. Somebody in the family that Thornton, you and I know, one of the sisters told me they had that experience years ago. And so the issue is that, again, for me in doing this platform, I'm always thinking of the person who feels alone in experiencing these things and think I'm the only one going through this and thinks that so that must make me crazy. And it doesn't. It could be any number of things. You guys went through a whole list of things. Shopping, too many choices, riding a bus, doing interviews, speaking to people, just a variety of different things, driving, being in the spotlight. There's a whole lot of things, just the system itself, dealing with parole. That's a whole variety of things just amongst you guys. And I'm sure you guys didn't even mention all of the things that could potentially give you anxiety in this process. Some things you may not have even experienced yet, no matter how many years you've been out, that will cause you anxiety in the future that is as the result of having been incarcerated. So with that being the case, I just want all of us to understand that it can happen to anybody. And I'm so grateful that we had this conversation. And I'm so grateful, Mr. Tillman, that you wrote this book so that we can have these kind of conversations, because these are relevant. They're relevant for everybody trying to successfully re-enter. And I know we did this a little bit out of order. That was kind of like everybody's checkout. Is there anybody, though, that has, based on the conversations, that has any one thing else that you wanted to say that was important before you go? Okay, go ahead, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay, so Cheryl going to
go.
Okay, so when we had a girl that went to court, and then the feds, when you go to court, they release you and you don't take none of your stuff. You have to call right back and get it. But her kids took her to Walmart. When she saw, they said that she did this because they called her and told her. They said when she got to the panties, she was like, oh my God, purple panties, and start crying and stuff. The kids like walked away from them because they said it was embarrassing. But when I left Wasika, Minnesota to go do my last 2 years in Dublin, I went in the store and like James talking about all the stuff. I had never seen that much gum. And so I'm walking down each aisle while I'm waiting for the bus. Walking down each aisle. So I go to the counter and I say to the lady, "You guys got vitamin D milk?" And she said, "It's none back." She said, "Yeah, it's none back there." I said, "No." So she walked back there and she showed it to me. It's in the container, it's not in the carton. And she said, "You from the prison, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." Because it's just so much we don't know about this world. It's so much that's so different now, you know?
Yeah, and you said it was two things. Was it something else?
That was the two things. The lady that got
okay, got you. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Bradley.
Yeah,
Can you
I
hear
mean,
me?
Like you said a while back about going to the gang, trying to stop the gang, bring the community together. And they look for a certain person that can do that, have that potential in life that can bring the people together. When I got out, this what they saw before I went to prison and after I went to prison, because I have these tools now that I learned from all these different groups. Like James said, teachers. When you have a person come out of incarceration, you can teach the other people, and these people know that you could teach them, that you could reach out to them because they know who you are as a person, have a good heart and want for the people, not just for yourself. This is what they look for. These people are also waiting on Jesus to come back. These people are waiting for someone to help guide them in a right, positive way. So I would never turn my back on people or judge these people who said they're waiting on me if I have something positive to give to these people to help the people. I'm only one person. I need more people to help me with all people, not just the people in my community, people all over. Now, we can get together just like your group. You come together with this group, everybody's waiting for you to start the group because everybody looking for their help to better themselves, that positive words, this message that you're giving. So I would never turn my back on anyone when I could give them something positive. But at the same time, I'm not going to let them draw the life up out of me. But if I can help,
wonderful.
I'm going to help. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That is a very healthy outlook. It's going to keep you healthy, and it's also going to help other people because you get the opportunity to share that wisdom with them. I want to say one other thing on my way out is that Mr. Withers shouldn't have went and got that orange juice because now I'm thirsty. Okay, now
Maureen,
because he over there, he making it look good, and he turning it up. And I'm just saying, I'm mad with him. I'm mad with Mr. Withers behind that. I'm just saying, Mr. Kent, did you want to say something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest anxiety to me was having money in my pocket. I didn't have no money for 33 years in my pocket.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I got money in my pocket. I could buy anything I want. And I'm scared to buy a piece of candy.
I know somebody, she did 33 and some change and had a straight up anxiety attack meltdown at the ATM when the money came out. She was scared to touch the money. So
I thought I had won the lottery.
and see, again, I'm saying the importance of this conversation is that there are people who don't know that they're not the only one. They don't know. They think that it's just them, and it makes them think that they're crazy. I want to give the author one last opportunity. Any last thoughts from you, sir?
I just want to say, everybody stay focused. If you have that book, read it. And those that don't have that book, me and Noreen gonna try to make it happen so you can get the book. And for Mr. Bradley, I was not saying to say screw them people. I was just saying that that's not rational for anybody to be waiting on you to come out of prison so they can make change in their life. But you're right. You have something to give them. You can teach them. They're looking for people who they may have looked up to coming out of prison to be that beacon of hope and that guidance that they might have not had when they was on the street. And that's it's normal because a lot of us coming out of prison, we have influence over a lot of people in our lives, regardless of how long we've been in prison, because we're somebody that they seem honorable, respectable, and knowledgeable. So when we hit the pavement and they can touch us and feel us and see us, That's what they mean by they was waiting on us. You know what I mean? Because they want to get that information and that knowledge that we have and be able to help guide them, because they couldn't do it out here by themselves, or they couldn't find nobody that could help them, guide them the way that they feel they need to be guided.
Yeah, and there was something in you that they knew they could count on before you ever went to prison. And like you say, characteristic in you that they've been waiting for. And now that you're home, they figure they can tap into that. And that is a real thing. But I just want you to know it's a testament to who you are and who you were before you went, that they revere you in that way. And you're right, Mr. Bradley, is that's how you get to help them, because they respect you for whatever it was that they saw and they've been waiting on for 30 some years. So that's a good thing. And I just want to thank everybody.
And just let Noreen know who don't have a book so we can get you a book.
Right. I always love the groups where you guys do a lot of talking and where I get the interaction, because I always learn so much myself. And I'm just grateful. You guys, you can any Tuesday, 5857 South Central, Suite 180. 5857 South Central, Suite 180. Fall through, pop up, drop in. We'll be here, okay? And we'd be glad to have you guys in person, because I've never met the two of you in person, right? So I would love to meet you guys in person and have you here in the group in the peanut gallery back there with the look see with the people. Oh boy, you know what I'm saying? And plus it might give me some relief. Y'all help me, y'all help me. I want to say, I hope that anybody listening got as much out of this as I did. This is Free to Heal. We're here every week trying to overcome the ravages of mass incarceration, what it did to the incarcerated, to their families, to the community, and hopefully you get something out of this. You can check us out on Facebook. Noise back there. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all the social media sites. Please give us your comments. If there's any topics you want us to discuss, by all means, let us know. And now, did you go get another kind of juice? Now he done went and got some water. Well, you know what? I'm gonna knock him out. When I see him, we're gonna have that fade. We're gonna take that fade, because I done told you I'm thirsty. Now he going to get some more kind of juice. Okay, I see how you did me. That's all right. We're gonna see each other. You know how you used to do when you was in school? You and me.
Right. My wife been having me out running errands all day, so I'm thirsty. So now I'm literally in the refrigerator. I keep grabbing something to drink out the
fridge. To hydrate. Okay, I appreciate
I'm trying to hydrate.
I appreciate you.
I'm literally sweating right now.
Thanks for the comic relief, baby. Thanks for the comic relief. Can't wait to see you guys next week. And next week, Terrell, we're gonna have Tavakas is gonna come next week to talk about and introduce his book. So you guys come back next week and we'll be here Free to Heal. And good night, everybody, and come see us again, okay?
Bye.
All right. See y'all later.